Hi everybody, welcome back to Astrologic Astrology, the astrology of I am, and this week's Snapshot of the Sky. Hope you did well with the Sun-Pluto trine this past week. You had the opportunity to be more effective and to be more purposeful in whatever you're doing, so I hope you took advantage of that. And today I want to talk about Mercury. Mercury is in its shadow period. That means we're in the period just before Mercury retrograde begins. So I want you to be aware that even though Mercury goes retrograde in 2 weeks, that there is a period just before the official time that it appears to be moving backwards, that it starts to slow down. And in that slowing down, things start to shift in our communications, and we should just be aware that the Mercury retrograde period is beginning, so that if we start finding that there's challenges, we know that it's because everything is slowing down and we're getting to that Mercury retrograde phase. 2 things I want to say. First of all, and I'm going to say this again next week, my good friend Cheryl Renee, great vocalist who hopefully you'll meet sometime soon, chastised me. Actually, she didn't just caution me, she chastised me about being too, how shall I say it? She thought I was being too prescriptive on the last Mercury retrograde, that I should not be saying that it's definitely going to be such, and so you should definitely not do this and not do that. And man, I really apologize if I made anyone feel uncomfortable. My good friend told me I made her feel uncomfortable because, let's face it, there are things we have to do during Mercury retrograde. So I never want to say, look, this is the only possibility that is happening in the universe and in the energy. I'm not qualified to say that. I don't have any sense of having mastered this to the degree that I can tell you that something definite is going to happen. I am a weatherman. I'm a cosmic weatherman. Just like you turn on the news and you see the man giving you the news report, he's talking about the news based on models and based on seeing satellite images. Well, as astrologers, we have an ephemeris. I use it all the time. I've shown it to you before. It's right here. And the ephemeris tells us where all the planets are every single day. So we can tell when there are certain energies that are coming, just like the weatherman can tell us that there are certain energies that are coming in the sky based on the satellite models. The weatherman doesn't have the benefit that we have because we know the orbits of these planets. So we know that there are certain energies that are going to exist. That part is science. We're going to have certain energies. What the effects of those energies are going to be is a completely different thing. So, because we're all human, because we all have different ways of responding, because we all have certain conditioning, because we're all at different levels of consciousness and understanding, I can't predict with 100% accuracy how you're going to experience any one thing. Just like the weatherman can't predict whether you're going to get soaked in a rainstorm, because you have the option to put on some rain gear or some galoshes or whatever it takes to go out in the weather being prepared. That's all I intend here, is to give you information about what the energy is so that you can be prepared. I'm going to repeat this message next week so that that's really clear as we go into Mercury retrograde. And I apologize to anyone who I may have made feel uncomfortable with the previous Mercury retrograde if I was too strong in the way that I said, be careful for this, be careful for that. I'm the cosmic weatherman, okay? I'm just giving you the insights and the awareness of the energy that exists, and then you have to use it and make your best judgment with everything that's going on in your life. So having said that, Mercury is coming up to a place where it's going to be slowing down. It is in this shadow period now. It's slowing down. That means communications could get kind of wonky. That means computers and things could start going on the blink. It means that all the things that Mercury retrograde means are beginning ahead of Mercury retrograde. And we're going to talk more in detail about that next week. And I'll be as open-minded and as flexible as I can in describing the typical things that happen during Mercury retrograde. Okay. At the end of this week, Mercury is going to square Neptune. Mercury's in Gemini and it's going to square Neptune. So at the end of this week, be careful for people not telling you the truth, and you be careful to say all the things that are full of integrity for you without trying to bend or slide or, this whole term white lies. Don't do it. This week it'll not likely work out, especially at the end of the week. Also, this week, Venus is trining Saturn, which we talked a lot about last Friday on our Venus Fridays when love speaks. So you know what Venus trine Saturn means if you watched that. If you didn't watch it, Venus trine Saturn means it's a good time to have stable, mature relationships, conversations that lead to a more grounded relationship. So take the opportunity this week to firm up your relationships, to make them stable, to make them mature. Not necessarily exciting and romantic. That's not what the Venus-Saturn energy is. It's make your relationships more mature, more practical. Give them a sense of being grounded in something real. And you can start by listening to your partner and allowing them to be who they are, and you give your sincere attention and appreciation. Go back to last Friday to look at that aspect if you are interested. We talked a lot about it. But in addition to that, Venus is in a sextile aspect to Chiron this week, which dovetails quite nicely with the Venus trine Saturn aspect, because Venus in aspect to Chiron means that there's some healing that can take place. There's the opportunity for you to heal your relationships. There's the opportunity for you to heal people through being a source of comfort for them, and for allowing yourself to talk about your wounds with someone who you care about, who you know will receive you. Take the opportunity, if there's something that's bugging you, something that's on your mind and that's disturbing you, let it out to the appropriate person, not just anybody, to the appropriate person, okay? So what else is going on? The sun goes into Gemini this week. So we're leaving sensual and practical Taurus and going into light, open-minded, flexible, fun, curious, intellectual Gemini. It's the time to stretch your mind, get your summer reading list together, get a book that's going to matter to you and that's going to make a difference for you and give you a possibility of shifting your thoughts, shifting your awareness a little bit. Be open to talking to different people. Be open to different people's points of view. Get out of your own head. Listen to what somebody else is saying. You might even want to, if you're a liberal, turn on Fox News and see what they're talking about. If you're a conservative, turn on MSNBC and see what they're talking about. Give yourself the opportunity to explore other possibilities of consciousness, other possibilities of awareness. It won't hurt you. It won't go against, you won't change. You won't be hypnotized. You will not be hypnotized. Just give yourself the opportunity. You may learn something. You may see something that relates to something that happened some time ago that you can go, oh, wow. I never thought about that. Maybe they're not all crazy. Maybe they do have something worth considering. Maybe we can call our congressmen or our senators and say, you know what? It won't be so bad to budge on this a little bit as long as, be open. And finally, just as the sun goes into Gemini this week, it's going to square Jupiter in Pisces. And that means there's the possibility, the real possibility of going overboard and having a good time And you want to be careful that you don't just waste anything. Don't waste finances. Don't waste words. Don't waste opportunities. Don't think that because things are flowing and good, that means that it's always going to be flowing and good. Life is cycles. So the sun square Jupiter means there's a big possibility for there to be hype, and you have to be careful. Don't believe the hype about everything. Everything must still fit into some paradigm that makes sense. and you just want to be aware that there's hyper-inflated ideas out there right now. So enjoy expansion or the idea of expansion, but don't take it too far. And that's this week's Snapshot of the Sky. If you want a reading, please contact us. Our website is astrologicastrology.com. That's www.astrologicastrology.com. Obviously, we're on YouTube. We're on Instagram at Astrologic Astrology too. Please like these videos. Please share these videos, and please subscribe. As always, we wish you love and peace, and we say goodbye with the word namaste. The spirit in me recognizes and honors the spirit in you.